share my video. So good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. My name is Kara. I am an account manager here at Free Conference, and moderating this webinar with me will be Sarah. She is our customer success manager. We're going to take turns presenting a few things, and we'll also be switching off monitoring the chat. As you can see, we have muted everybody. We've muted all the participants. We just want to avoid any noises that might pop up in the middle of the webinar to avoid that disturbance. However, you can chat questions to us. So the way you do that is on the right-hand side of your screen. You're going to hover. The toolbar should pop up. The first set of balloons there are the chat balloons. Just click on that. You can see that Sarah's already done a chat there, and she's asking you to go ahead and type your questions in. She's happy to answer them. And then when she takes over, I will be answering the chat as well. So please ask any questions you might have. So today we're going to review how to hold a successful video call. It's really easy. So instead of just being a step-by-step, do this, we thought we'd incorporate some best practices and tips as well to hopefully be able to prevent problems if they would occur before they occur, give you a little bit of preparation. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we'll talk about how to get started on this. I'm going to share my screen in a minute here because I want to show you the dashboard. Or in other words, your login interface when you log into the meeting. So hopefully you've all logged into your account. This is what it looks like. Good, that's step one. If you haven't, please sign up for an account, please log in and take a look at this interface. This is what we'll be using. You're going to want to log in as the moderator. Okay, so in order to either launch a call or schedule a call, you want to be the moderator of the call. Anybody that you're inviting to the call does not need a free conference account. They can sign in as a guest. That's not a problem at all. Or they can sign up for an account. You don't have to have a paid plan to access the video meetings at all. You can hold those on the free plan as well. You can have up to 5 people with the free plan online. If you need more than that, that's when you'll want to upgrade. Most of what we're going over today is available to you on the free plan. When it requires an upgrade, we'll try to make sure that you know that, so that we're being very transparent as to what you can access and what you can't. So first and foremost, there are some things that you may want to set up prior to your call, prior to scheduling it, prior to starting it for sure, and those you'll find in the settings. So just a few things. You may want to upload your picture. I've got mine in here. It's nice because if you don't have your camera on, it's really nice for people to see you anyway, put a face to the name, so to speak. Otherwise, you'll just have your name on the panel. It'll be kind of boring. So if you upload a picture, it brings a little bit more of a personal touch to it. You can also decide how you would like to hear your video participants as they enter the call. For example, you might have heard some chimes after I started talking. That's because I have the chimes enabled. So that lets me know somebody is on the call or is coming into the call, but it's not a name announced, so it's not going to really play over my presentation other than a little beep. You certainly can turn both of them off or both of them on, depending on how you want to set up your meeting. You may also want to enable different muting modes. So as we already discussed, we're in presentation mode right now. So the default is that only moderators can talk. So Sarah and I have open lines, everybody else is muted down, and you cannot unmute your own line. The other modes would be conversation mode. So lines are by default open and everybody can speak, or question and answer mode, which again places everybody on mute, but does allow participants to unmute their own lines if they want to talk and to remute their lines. So again, this is just something that you want to think about depending on the nature of your call. You can preset this and not have to worry about it when the call starts. The other feature that you can play around with is recording. and live streaming. Here, I do want to point out that recording is not available on the free plan, so you do have to upgrade depending upon your needs. You can look at the plans and decide if you want to upgrade to record your video. And this is where you would preset that. So you can decide to record just your audio session or your online meeting. You can choose to live stream, but these are all things that you can set up before the call starts, so you don't have to worry about thinking about the record button and making sure that you've hit it. Will already start to record for you. So those are just a few things that you can do to kind of set yourself up for success. So in terms of scheduling and actually launching a video conference, it's really easy. This is perfectly capable of accommodating an on-demand call, meaning if you, for some reason, you've got 3-4 other people and you decide you want to hop on a video call, that's not a problem. All you need is this online meeting room URL. You can send it to somebody in like a instant message. You can copy paste and email it over. You can text it to a mobile phone. If they can get to a Chrome browser, they can click on this URL and they can join the call. If they can't get to a browser, we do have apps for download as well, and those are found right in the menu in our download apps section. So it's really just as easy as sending out that meeting room URL. As a moderator, to start the call, you only need to log into your account and click on start. That's going to take you to a screen where you'll choose to start the call via the internet, and your microphone, speakers, and camera will all be connected, and you can just start talking. If you prefer to schedule it instead, that's fine as well. We have a full scheduling wizard. I'm not going to go through this step by step. That's a different webinar, but it does allow you to choose the date, the time, your participants, etc. And it sends out all of the details that you need in order to host your video call. So whether it's an on-demand or scheduled, you can do it all from right here. The next thing to talk about is your equipment itself. So I think for this, I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Turn the video back on. So first and foremost, I know it sounds silly, make sure you have a webcam. Some people assume that they do have a webcam built into their laptop, and they don't, and they wonder why it isn't working. So just make sure that's available. You can also buy an external webcam. A Logitech makes a great clear picture. You can get one of those and easily plug it into a USB port, but do make sure you've got a working one. Something else that seems pretty obvious, but it may not be, is clean your camera if it's an external one, because I've actually had it happen where my picture looks really fuzzy, and it turns out that either myself or somebody had a big smudge across the lens. So just make sure that's clean so you can get a nice sharp picture. And make sure you have proper lighting. So the light source should come from behind the camera, not behind you. I actually had to recently go and put a lamp behind my laptop because my lighting was really impacting my video quality, and it's been a lot better since I did that. So just make sure your lighting is coming from behind the camera, and your background, you may not have much of a choice, but if you can, have a nice light background and not something dark that is not going to contrast very much with you or what you're trying to do. So the other part of the thing is the setup that you want to make sure that you're doing is to test your setup first and foremost. So you can do this yourself. You don't need to invite anybody. You can just start a web meeting and click on your settings. So let me go ahead and share my screen again for that. You have a settings icon, a little gear icon over in the toolbar. And that's going to show you exactly which equipment is being chosen by the system to use. So for example, you can see that my audio is working, and it's my default external microphone that is being used. However, I've got quite a few microphones here. So if any of those were selected and it wasn't this one, you wouldn't be able to hear me. So that's something you definitely want to check. The same thing goes for the camera. If you have an external one, make sure that it's choosing the external instead of the internal. If you log in and you turn on your camera and it's not working, I would say that's the first thing that you want to check to make sure that it's finding the correct camera. And you can also toggle your video resolution. So if you think of a very strong bandwidth connection and you want to go ahead and put this in full HD, the 1080p, you certainly can choose to do that. The default is going to be a lower res, and there's a middle one as well. So you can choose whatever one makes the most sense for you. But I would suggest that be realistic about it. If your system cannot accommodate, say, the full 1080p, it will actually go back to the lower resolution anyway to make sure it has a consistent video going on. So be realistic, but go ahead and choose the best resolution for you. You can also do a full connection test if you want. That will run you through everything. So it will actually take you through, do you hear the microphone? Do you have, is your microphone hearing you? Can you see yourself? So our test connection is really thorough as well. So again, just log in on your own, run through the test, make sure everything's good, and then you can actually start your video meeting. With that, I'm going to pass it to Sarah, as she's the expert on how to actually go ahead and do things correctly while you're on the call.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Cara. So during the meeting, once you're all prepared and as Cara explained, you've got your gear set up properly and you've tested it out, then when you get on the meeting and everybody starts to join, just like Cara did when you guys all joined, it's really good to explain if they're muted. Just say, hey, you've been muted. You can ask questions at the end, or you can explain where the chat is. Just a little sort of introduction. If you've allowed people to unmute themselves, let them know they can do that on their phone with *6 or using the mute button in the menu at the top of the meeting room. Now I'm going to share. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, fat finger. I tapped the wrong thing. So I'm sharing my screen now. Sorry, everybody. So yes, important for you as the moderator or the host is to get familiar with the participant list. I would recommend, if you're having a larger call, that you can have one person who's doing the moderating, like we're sharing now with Cara, where maybe one person's using the app on their phone or they're connected on the computer. They might be view only, just so that they can check if people ask a question in the chat, or if someone's there's a disturbance. You can see here that when you click on someone's icon, I could mute or unmute them. I could even block or disconnect someone who might really be causing a problem on the call, or maybe they've walked off and forgotten that they're in a conference and left themselves connected. You can drop them from the call. And then also someone might be raising their hand. Now you'll see as participants, I don't have that because I'm a moderator. As a participant, you'll have a little raise hand icon at the top. Cara, do you mind raising your hand so that people can see, or if anyone else in the meeting is available? You see that her tile, her little icon there has moved to the top of the list, and there's a little message here at the top. And so I can, if she wants to ask a question, I can unmute her so she can answer a question, and I can unraise her hand for her so she drops back down to the list. The other one that's important to know about is active speaker. When you're so Cara, if you don't mind maybe unmuting, I can unmute you for a bit. You might notice, you'll see at the bottom of the tiles here at the bottom, if Cara was to start talking,
Hello.
Then you see exactly her little tile starts to highlight yellow, and you can see mine here is also yellow because I'm the one talking, and it'll go back and forth. Important to note, if someone's sharing their screen, that will be the main focus. That'll stay what we call pinned. And then, but if you've just got people who are on video, like you're having a meeting with some colleagues, it'll switch between each person. So you've got Cara talking, and her picture will become the main focus in the main window. And then maybe Charles talks later, and you'll see his picture as the main focus in the main window when they're speaking. So that's what we call active speaker. And if for any reason you want to keep looking at just one person, maybe like we have our own internal meetings where there's a group of people in one office, and we want to keep them in the main window. Even if other people are talking, you can use the pin features. So I can do that for myself here. I could do that for Cara. I just hit pin. So now I'm only seeing her icon or her video active. And then if I decide Cara's line maybe is a bit noisy or something, I can always just go ahead and mute her myself here. So what else is important? Oh, if you run into some technical issues, and you've got someone who's just really, maybe they're joined by internet, and they've got a terrible Wi-Fi, or their mobile internet is just really shocking and you can't hear them well. In case of emergency, always have, if you go to here in the menu, there's conference details. You can always find a dial-in number. You can find ones from different countries, and just you can copy that really quickly and send it to them via email or whatever you want, or tell them even over the online meeting room, and they can call in. So that's always good to have that handy. And here is also a good place just to know that you've almost got a mini dashboard here. You can find phone controls if you need to tell anybody phone controls. For example, the raise hand is *2. And you can also access our support portal very quickly from here. Now we've also, we will go over this in more depth in other webinars, but you've got screen sharing available in the chat. You can also upload a document here very quickly, and we've already explained chat. And then when you're done with your meeting, I would always recommend, I mean, it depends. If you've got some people, you're like, all right, we're just going to have a little chat by ourselves at the end of the meeting, and then we'll wrap it up. But if it's important that you make sure that the call's ended, maybe also because you've got a recording that you want to make sure ends when your meeting is over, and that other people don't accidentally stay on the line for whatever reason, I always recommend to hit hang up and then choose end call. I don't know if you can see that I'm sharing, but that will drop and disconnect everybody in your meeting, and that just confirms that it's over with. Once you've ended the call, you're going to get a summary via email, and let me just go show you an example of that. So I can access my dashboard really easily from here. And in your past conferences. So where's a good one? I should have one prepared earlier. But here, this was just a test. Here you can see if you've got any recordings, which is a premium feature, you'll see that here. And if you've had them transcribed, you'll have that here too. Also, if there were any chats, you'll have that, and any documents that were shared during the meeting, you'll have that all listed here for people to download. And you've got this really great feature where if you click on the share icon, you've got a public link where you can share this summary. So just with one click, you can copy that link, or you can share to Facebook or Twitter. You can give people access to the recording, to the transcript, to chat, to documents. They can see the list of participants. So that's really good for particularly small internal groups where maybe one person wasn't able to attend, or you just want to make sure everybody gets a summary and you don't have to go back and attach files here and do that at the recording over there. It's all in one place. So that's a really good feature. And I think that's pretty much it for me for the video conferencing. So unless there's any questions in the chat, I might hand it over to Cara to wrap it up.
Yep, I don't think there's any questions. And that's fine. If you think of questions after this, as you're hosting a call, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Please get in touch with us. Like Sarah said, we've got a great support team available via chat, email, and phone. We're happy to help you with that. We're happy to jump in and test a video call with you if that's something that you're interested in doing as well. We're all quite used to being on video, so it's all fine with us. We will be sending out the recording of this meeting as soon as we've QC'd it and made sure it's nice and clear and ready for prime time. We'll send that to you as a follow-up resource. And please check your email to look for a couple other webinars that we will be holding in the future, and feel free to join those as well. With that, have a wonderful rest of the day and happy Halloween. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.